So my name is Jacqueline Queenan. I'm the Senior Secretary of the Right Site at Interview-Twu, and I also oversee the Supplemental Instruction Program. So what questions do you guys have?
First, I wanted to thank you again for your time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do the first question.
Okay, so what was the reason for the supplement instruction session?
Okay, so that actually comes from the state of Texas. A lot of universities have to have a sort of like no credit requirement along with first year composition classes, and it used to be based off of the TSI scores that you guys take. I don't know if you remember taking them before you started. So students who scored high enough not to be in the 1003 sections, but too low to be in just 1013, were placed in a 1013S section, and those students would need to go specifically to supplemental instruction. It was a little different. It was in groups of 3, so it wasn't required for all of you guys to attend. But then the state lowered the score, and we found last year that some people who were in just 1013 weren't necessarily ready for that kind of writing. So we want to sort of reshape how we view supplemental instruction. And what we're doing now is a closer model to what other universities do for supplemental instruction, where all of the classes go to it just for a little bit of extra help, and it's sort of paced along with the assignments. Yeah, so that's where that came from.
The next question we have is, okay, well then again you said why the sessions are required. Why did you guys make it a minimum of 3?
So we wanted to space it out, give you guys 5 options, that way you can attend more if you were really interested in, if it was really helping you guys with the papers, and also to see, since this is our first semester doing it, to see sort of what was feasible for you guys. Was 3 too much? Was 3 not enough? So it was just sort of felt like a middle ground number to pick to see what worked best for what we were trying to accomplish and what worked for you guys as students.
But how long has this program started? Like, how was it started?
Supplemental instruction?
Yes.
So I don't remember exactly when we started having supplemental instruction, like the old model, like I was telling you guys about. But this semester is the first semester that we're doing it where all 1013 students have to do it. And the same in the spring. That'll be the first time. Actually, the first time 1023 students will need to do supplemental instruction, because it used to be only for 1013. But we want, along with requiring all 1013 students, we wanted to do the same for 1023. So that way, those students who take 1013 and 1023 here to see what overall improvements you guys make as writers from the time that you guys start all the way when you're done with first year composition.
How do you believe, or how responsive and engaged do you see students throughout the sessions?
So I'm not personally in the sessions with you guys. That was Alexis and Nicole, and then Garibal later on. But I've had instructors tell me oh, my students love it. They're always saying, oh, supplemental instruction really, really helped me with this assignment. I don't know about you guys and your personal experience with it. But I've had a lot of instructors tell me that their students are really enjoying it and they find it helpful. It's an additional explanation to what you guys covered in class that maybe your instructor isn't able to cover exactly in detail what you guys are going over in supplemental instruction. And I know I've had some people say that they really appreciate the one-on-one time that you guys have sometimes at the end.
What would you ask us, what would you tell a student, helpful tips during the session to help them apply the lessons to any English class or composition class?
So helpful tips, I think, would be participating in whatever sort of assignment or activity that they prepare for you guys. The goal of it is exactly that, of here are these skills. Yes, they apply to the papers that you're doing in FYC, but you can take all of these and apply them to your science class as well. So I think just having that open mind, you already have a great step of knowing what we're trying to teach you guys is going to be helpful for other writing assignments too. So I think that's a great start of just having that open mind of what I'm learning now will be useful for me later on. I think as a key thing that students who aren't necessarily on board with that supplemental instruction, they're not necessarily they're viewing it more as this is an extra thing I have to do for class rather than this is something that will be helpful for me in future classes also. So I think having an open mind about it. Yeah.
The last one we have so far, and then I don't know if she would like to add some. On the long run, do you believe students will actually reach the level of college writing with these sessions, or?
Yeah. So since we're in the halfway point of the semester, it's a little tricky to tell. We're going to be sending a survey to you guys in the spring. It is a tricky thing to sort of gauge because writing is so subjective and we're all at different levels and everything. But based off of what instructors have been saying and telling us, it seems like students who are regularly engaging and attending supplemental instruction is definitely helping them at least having a better relationship with who they are as a writer. Like people who are really engaged with supplemental instruction, instructors are saying I can see them becoming more confident with who they are as a writer. And so that sort of goes back to your question about students, like what tips, is that writing is sort of, improvement in writing is a slow process. So you might not necessarily say from the beginning of the semester to the end, like, oh, I like improved leaps and bounds, but it's a really slow process where you don't even necessarily notice it until maybe like your senior year, you're like, wow, I'm like such a better writer just in these 4 years. So it's a slow process. Yeah.
I don't think I have any more questions.
Okay.
We covered about everything.
Great.
Thank you
Of course.
so much for your time.
Yeah,
I really
definitely.
appreciate it.
Thanks for like picking the right site to review.
Thank you.
Thank you.